Welcome back to Parkitect. Today is all about the small stuff, so it's gonna be a lot of rock work and grass and things like that, and those little pests are gonna actually create a lot of lag, which I didn't expect, but during the making of this episode I kind of dropped down to 6 FPS to even 4 FPS at times when zooming out, which I think, though I'm not sure, is due to the fact that you don't get lower poly models if you zoom out. There are different levels of detail. I'm not completely sure about that. But basically it's actually not running all too well, and I'm actually already running into lag problems, like Rollercoaster Tycoon 3. I mean, I'm used to it at this point, but it was a bit of an issue sometimes. But it's not too big of a problem, really. The wooden coaster, I think I'll rename to Avalanche. I don't actually remember whether I said it in the last episode, but I was going to call that thing Rolling Thunder. I think I said that. Which was honestly just a name that I had to quickly come up with, just to put it on the Parkitect Nexus. And I've got so many good suggestions, and I just think Avalanche is the best suggestion so far. It packs the Alpine theme. It's a bit standard, honestly, it's a pretty common name, but I do like it. And this little ride is called Forest Explorer for the time being. I'm not sure if I want to keep that name, but then again, names are not too important, I suppose. It's just a bit of a reference point. And really all I'm doing here at the moment is placing down a lot of grass, which I've always kind of missed in Rollercoaster Tycoon 3. And I'm kind of trying to find the sort of balance between spamming a lot of grass and having no 3D grass whatsoever. I actually saw a couple of people on the Parkitect Nexus threads who would actually use a lot of grass to actually create the idea that there is a lot of tall grass, but I don't think I really want to do that, considering that these things are enormous creators of lag at the moment. So I think I'll just keep it down and just place some grass here and there to make it look a little bit more rugged and have a little bit more detail in it, but it's not really to 100% create a realistic look of tall grass everywhere. That's something I don't think I can really get in, and that's that really. At which point I just kind of do all sorts of random stuff in this episode that I just kind of still had to do to make the park look a little bit better. Like, I don't actually exactly remember, but small little tents and food courts and a new ride, which I forgot to actually record me making the foliage around the swinging ship, which I add at the end of this video, which is just exactly the same reason as the reason that I didn't have the foliage of the junior coaster, because I ran out of Frep's memory, which is actually turning out to become a pretty big problem. Basically, since I'm being a lazy fat ass and I don't want to do commentary over all of these videos because it's quite a big stash, but I currently still have like 4 episodes more of Parkitect already on my PC, and I'm like constantly doing new stuff, and I have to find time in between to do the commentary, which is pretty much the only 10 minutes of my life usually each day in which I just have a random stream of consciousness and upload that on YouTube. That's pretty much that, but I'm being way too meta with that. It's this thing is a bit of a pavilion, I figured, from which you could look at the wooden roller coaster. I don't know how much sense it makes, but I kind of just wanted to fill the space and have some sort of observation little tent from which you can look at the wooden roller coaster, and surprisingly it almost has a bit of that Asian sort of feeling. I feel as if I add the western corners around the corners of this roof, it could even look a tiny bit Asian, but it's Alpine, or at least it should be sort of Alpine. In the meantime, there haven't been any new custom scenery sets, so I can't really make this park look more Alpine than it does at the moment. But one thing is, which is pretty good, the fact that the most recent updates, which the developers gave, they actually added they added a palette tool, so you can actually now save the colors that you're using. It's not in the game yet that is uploaded, so it's really just a devlog. But it's really cool to see that it's actually there, and hopefully by the time that this park is finished, it's actually usable in the uploaded game, because it is so amazing. They did exactly what I kind of wanted to do with the tool. You can not only save the colors, so you don't have to save the hex codes into a notepad file to save your colors, but you can even save entire palettes. So I don't know if you can actually share them though, but you can just create palettes for certain themes and open those to get all the colors that you need, which is absolutely perfect and pretty much what I wished for all this time. and that's going to be a lot better, because right now I actually need to spend quite a bit of time each time digging up my notepad file, which I always lose, which has my colors in it, and always have to kind of leave the game for a second to find the right color, and I always pick the wrong color because I don't give my colors names that make sense. Like, got some sort of almost white. Yeah, and that's actually one of the colors is called almost white, and another one is called almost white, which I figured would seem fun when I just added them, but now every time I try to find the exact shade of white that I need, it's kind of painful. But yeah, I can't really use that just yet. And there's also the new pre-alpha has been released, and I am actually sort of debating whether I want to make update videos, which is some random idea that pretty much is completely ripped off from the Minecraft community, where you had these snapshots. Anyone who's played Minecraft probably knows this. You had these snapshots which would come out weekly. I don't know if they still do. I haven't played the game in way too long. But each week they would have like new little updates, and you don't get it instantly into your game, but you can download the snapshot if you wanted to. And then you get all these YouTubers actually sharing videos of what's new in the snapshot and what you can do with it, which I thought was really cool and a lot more fun than to just look at one big update thing which just said removed this, added this, and removed Herobrine, which was pretty much just one big wall of text which rarely seemed to make any sense whatsoever. So I might do that, but I'm really not too sure. The updates of Parkitect are really quite small and somewhat rare compared to weekly snapshots at the moment, so it's just an idea that I might want to play around with. But it's a bit of a good point perhaps, because the stuff that you're looking at right now is released before the newest update is there. So this was before the stuff that has been added in the new update, which we actually already have in the game, which are castle walls, new pillars, as well as some small bug fixes and extra things that you can do with paths, for example. And a really good thing is the fact that they actually added a bobsled coaster. I won't be able to quite add it in this park since, well, this was recorded before that update came out, but it's actually a really cool thing, and I love the bobsled so far. I actually think it looks a lot better than Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. But yeah, I might make videos on showing that stuff off, but I'm not really too sure about it. I mean, there's still quite small updates, and it's also fun to, well, see for yourself what the update is like. That's actually what I usually do. I don't really check the update things, but I just get into the game and check all the windows and see what's new. It's actually quite fun to do that, and I might do that on camera, but I'm not really sure. And the last sort of thing that I wanted to do to bring it actually back to the park here is I wanted to have a lot of water in the park. I'm not sure if it's because it's in the Netherlands. I might just want to say that this park is in the Netherlands because it's completely flat, and that's a good excuse for making a completely flat park. Which honestly, it's you could call it extreme laziness, which it probably is, but I'm not a big fan of using terraforming in my parks, because as good as it looks, it is very painful to work with. But I just kind of wanted to have a little river flow through the park and have some small lakes connected to that, which I figured would be perfect with a little pirate ship over it, which is very Disney-esque and a bit of a rip-off really, but it looked too good not to do it, especially with all the foliage and awesome palm trees and awesome ferns from the awesome dino pack, which you won't be able to see because I forgot to remove my Fraps files and now I didn't record it, so yeah, tough luck. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, in the end, I think, yeah, you'll see it next episode anyway. In the end, I do think it looks really good, and I like having all those ferns and palm trees and things like that. I don't know why the video just paused over there, but oh well. And the amazing thing is, really, that with all these offset elements, it's a bit annoying for building since you can't raise all of them, but there are so many different things that you can do with these elements to make separate fences, like especially with all the new posts that have come out. You can raise them, lower them, place them on different sections of the grid to just make completely different fences, which is really awesome and something that I might want to mess around with just a little bit more than I currently do. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm running out of time again because I forgot to record the foliage. So I'll see you guys in the next episode, in which I'll magically have that foliage and work on some other stuff around this area. So